All right, Kenneth, getting to part two. Like we were saying about the question, though, like we're halfway into the year. 6 months into, like, you know, we was basically told that, you know, all dance studios are getting closed. We have to do social distancing. So from here, from right now until the year 2021, like how, what do you see yourself in the future with dance, though? Like,
yeah, and it's a great question because we all have that same question. What are we going to do? And we're going to find ways to keep on dancing. The dance community is getting creative with it. So like I said before, I've been doing interviews and finding people to dance with and even dance and do social distancing. But in terms of teaching, I've been thinking out maybe putting out an instructional product.
okay.
And something that the dance community needs. And that has to deal with maybe like a freestyle foundation class. I've always felt that unless you're extremely talented, it's very hard to take a class and learn an art form. Because learning choreography and learning an art form is a completely different skill set.
That's cool.
I need to teach people how to do foundation and then how to use it.
Can I ask you a quick question? If you would do it, you don't have to, but it's freestyle. Can you show us maybe like 1 or 2 version of like basic foundation to lock in?
Yeah. And
Like you just maybe just like
nothing to do with me.
something simple.
Lock Jr., who was the teacher of the lockers, shared with me that the keys to foundation was pace, up, and then you lock. And then you hit a combination. Add your own flavor to it. But basically pace, up, lock, then you do your thing, whatever your thing is.
Okay. And one more question, part 2, like to for the next level to advance, what would be the second phase of that once you get the first foundation down?
And this is a good question because the thing about the lockers is when they did routines, they were clean and tight. They looked exact. But one of the harder things to do in the next level is to create your own identity. Even though that they were clean and tight routines and looked the same, when they did their solos, everybody was different. Everybody had their own superpower. They all had their power moves, and they all had their own style and identity. Rerun was really bouncy. Greg was real sustained. Don was like short moves, phone booth locked in, power, a lot of authority. Shabbat and Kleen were double time, funky. You know,
double time.
Everybody had a different thing, and they had their own. Like Don was a flyer, catch a lot of air. Fluky and Greg, back handsprings and flips.
What would you say? What was Lollipop style from the movie Breaking?
Lollipop. She had a lot of good double time.
She's using like a lot of whacking.
Punking and whacking, which really is related to locking in certain ways.
Okay.
And it was they seem to dance together. It's a really good segue into locking, so she could go in and out of it. There was other female dancers that were Flaming Boogie, who were punkers and whackers. So
what's the difference? Because I really don't know, honestly. What's the difference between punking and whacking?
I'm not the person to break that down.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to offend anybody. It's not my art form. So I always have to be mindful to talk about things that I know.
Okay.
There are differences, but we're going to let the experts take care of that.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to get some hate mail over something I say.
True.
So I have to be mindful and let the people that do that well describe that to you.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be ignorant in terms of talking about exactly what I don't know. But there's some amazing differences.
Okay. Another question that was asked to me, you know, by a dancer, and I was telling him, you know what, music makes you move this way, this and that, and like the question was asked to me is like, how do you get funky? That was a question. I'm thinking like, damn, maybe you can answer that. Like you can have all the moves, locking moves, all the points, but how do you get funky?
Yeah, and you know that's a great question, and there's not one answer, and you're gonna have a lot of different answers. Because a lot of people will tell you God made me funky. And for me, I think I had a
you're leaving?
trajectory.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to let you know.
Alrighty.
And I think a big part of my situation is, one, I was always a dancer. 2, I used to watch Soul Train. But I always grew up in a house full of music with soul music. So I grew up listening to Marvin Gaye and James Brown and Stevie Wonder and the Jacksons. And I think that has a lot to influence it, but you still got to move. You still got to get up and dance. So culturally in my family, you know, during the holidays we'd get together and they would have dance contests.
Yeah.
And I used to watch Soul Train, so I used to copy a guy named Deuce Ray, who was Don's inspiration. And so that was the guy that, first guy I saw doing dances like the popcorn, the monkey, the funky chicken.
Wow, I never even heard of that.
And so that's the thing that's different from in those days. Now there was a new dance on Soul Train and Bandstand every week. So there was a lot more social dancing. And that's how street dancing, it came out of social dancing. And so when I go to events now, it's all street dancing, it's house, or it's popping, it's locking, or it's b-boying, or it's hip-hop,
Yeah.
which is a big umbrella for a lot of dances. But, I mean, even when I was a kid growing up, there was a lot of teen clubs, and so there was always new dances coming out all the time. The K-Swiss, the Lacoste.
Oh, the
Roger Rabbit
Lacoste.
during hip-hop, you know, used to do a dance called the Dog, you know, that looked like dogs were made, but he did the cowboy, you know.
What was the Lacoste? I remember the
Cowboy
Lacoste though, but yeah, damn, I haven't heard that one since I was a kid.
Yeah,
The
you
Lacoste. What did you remember what the Lacoste looked like, that
Yeah,
dance?
yeah, I do. It's like kind of Michael Jackson's footwork when he did floating, you know.
Okay.
And so we did the skate. I could go on and name dances, but if you talk to dancers nowadays, they can't peel off a range of social dances that they did in a minute because everything I seen was like competition versus social dance.
Oh yeah.
It was different. Every weekend there was a house party. Our disc jockeys were renting out armories, and people would come and pay for the venue. It's different now. It's all events and competitions, and it's not just people, you know, dancing together. You know, I've always tried to be a street dancer, and I'm finally, you know, at the twilight of my career learning how to partner dance. I'm learning how to salsa, and I will eventually want to get into hustling because it's really popular. I've always been a bachata because of Soul Train, the black cha-cha, not the Latino cha-cha.
Okay.
And but I don't know how to partner dance with it, so I'm gonna learn that soon. And so I think at this time I should learn how to dance with a woman and be a grown-up. So it's great being a beginner. You know,
Yeah.
so that's something new that I'm not the expert in. My dance partner Sugar Bear is my salsa teacher, and this is going to be a great journey, and maybe I hope to share that someday. You know, get into it. You know, to grow, with,
Right.
You know, and hopefully grow with excellence. Because I believe you do something, you should do the best you can.
I'm gonna totally agree with you on that. Is there anything on your mind that you might want to like talk about that if there's any type of something that you might want to express that we haven't spoken since like the last time that we talked about?
There's a big rip in the locking community, which I'm a part of, and with COVID and Black Lives Matter, it's concerning to me. There's terms like guests come out and
oh yeah,
seems to be division, and I think when politics get involved in anything, it's always concerning to me. I think people have to be mindful when they talk to each other, and it seems like with the death of Greg Campbell Jr. and the death of Don, that people are going to start stepping up and saying things that they didn't talk about.
okay.
You know, other than Shabadoo, I never heard anything about race and you know, white privilege, and Shabadoo expressed to me. That's funny because I was afraid to talk to Shabadoo, and I was afraid to you know, become friends with him because you hear things and stuff like that. And when I did your first interview, he was one of the first people to call me.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
And I was like scared. I was like, man, I don't want to talk to Shab, you know. And he asked me, what is this? And it's like, oh, it's about my story as a trajectory. And man, he let me have it. And with Shab, you're going to get the truth, and he's not going to pull any punches. So the first half of the conversation was